live button. So now it'll take a few seconds to actually see it. And then we are live and in living color.
Live and in living color.
Remember that show? That was a long show back in the day.
I loved In Living Color.
That was an interesting one.
In living color.
It's a little different than the jazz I'm playing right now. All right, here it is. It says we're live. So I'm gonna
We're
look at
live.
this and see if I can share it. I can. I'm gonna share it to my page. Let's do this. I'll tag you if that's all right with you.
I'll go for it.
Posted. Done. Tami, hi.
Hi.
I'm gonna shut down this beautiful jazz music if you don't object to it. Let me do this. I'm gonna stop the share real quick. I'm gonna pull up my jazz ensemble here and turn them off. And Tami, what I thought we'd do is just show that cool promo video and then get into a conversation. How does that sound?
Oh, that sounds good.
All right, bear with us, audience. We're going to show you the quick intro, fun video, and then away we will go. Here it is. All right. Tami, welcome to Coach's Corner. How are you today?
I'm good. Welcome aboard, everyone.
The train ride, the Coach's Corner. We're on a little, could be a joyride, could be a bunch of things. I just want to say those pictures were fantastic. The ones you sent over, those were beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. So I'm just going to do a quick intro overview for everybody. Coach's Corner. This is episode 5. Why did I start doing this? Well, initially, I'm a coach. I talk to a lot of coaches. And there's a lot of mysticism or just confusion around what coaching is, what are the different kinds of coaching. And so I thought I'd go on a little journey, a little quest, and really, one, demystify what coaching is, and then two, highlight some incredible coaches that are in my community and just find out a little bit more about what they do, who they are, and why they're so incredible and the results that they can produce for people. So that's why we're here today. My incredible friend, Tami. And Tami, just great to have you. And I'm glad we could connect like this.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Good to be here. So maybe just high level, tell me, I'll give a little background on our relationship. We met in a leadership program a little while back now. And I know we both were coaching on leadership together. And since then, you've gone on a little bit of a journey and a path yourself. So what are you doing these days? Tell me a little bit about what you're doing, what kind of coaching practice you have, and we can take the conversation anywhere from there.
Yeah. Well, hi, everyone. I'm a mindset career coach for women entrepreneurs. We get clear on their goals, their vision, what it is that their purpose, whatever it is that they're aligned with, so that they can be fulfilled in their business, their career, whatever it is that they want to create. And then we also work on confidence, like being able to express who you are, what you do, and also to have results like money, time, freedom, more leads coming in, travel, whatever it is that they want to create. And I just love what I do. And I've been doing this for about a year. And I've been, like you said, we coached a leadership program for 3 years. And that really got me thinking like, I think I could do this. And I just took it on and called myself a coach, did all the training that I needed possible to get to where I'm at today. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I was so excited to have you on here. And I wouldn't say we've kept in touch all that intimately over time, but what I remember just from our times together when we spent, as you said, 3 years, those were very close and intimate moments inside of the program. And I just remember, one, your passion, and two, your energy, and just how when I say passion, energy, I'm also thinking about heart now, because I always just felt that you had that, I really care about whoever I'm talking to in the moment. And that's just something that's been left with me, and why I was so excited to just reconnect prior to this and now on this particular conversation. And I read on your website, and we can look at that a little bit later, but passion was really something that stood out for me, as it's not always about the logistics of what we need to do in coaching, but it's actually uncovering some of the passion. Is that right? Is that something that you focus a lot of attention on?
Yeah, we definitely tap into what you're passionate about because that's what's going to get you out of bed in the morning. That's what's going to get you when you're down and out. You don't see the results. You just get back to like, why am I doing this? And get passionate about it. And if it's not something that lights you up, we're not going to take action on that. And because that it has to light you up, even the logistics and everything like that. We know that that needs to get done for your business and your career, but like, why are you doing this? Like, what is that? Like, let's start getting excited about life, because that's how you could attract so many more and better things that could come into your space, like people, opportunities. And just having that like show up is almost like magic, but it's also doing the work when you start like really asking yourself the questions. And with my coaching, I just hold them accountable to that and listening to them bigger than who they really think they are.
I love that phrase. Listen to them bigger than they really think they are or see themselves. And that's
Yeah.
something that I remember from way back. Like, how can I listen to you in a way such that nobody's ever listened to you before? And that can be so powerful. How do you bring that to your conversations or your clients? What's sort of some of the things that allow you to do that or navigate a discussion in a certain way?
Yeah, well, I love my clients. They're so great. Like I love who they were and who they create themselves to be and where they want to go. I have this one client. She's so amazing. She came to me. She didn't have any idea of really what she wanted to do, but she knew she had like 500 ideas of what she really wanted to do, but she didn't take any action in like 5 years on any of those ideas. So I was like, what lights you up? And she figured out what really lit her up was her jewelry business and building a jewelry design, because she's into fashion and everything like that. So I listened to her as this CEO boss. So when she came to me with all of these breakdowns, all these disempowering conversations, I can't do it. What am I doing? We would clear that space out, because it's not who she is. Who she is a boss, and a boss, you know, gets to go get up in the morning, do the things that they love doing, and going after what it is that they want for their business and career. So every time we would get on the call, I would listen to her as that person, as that boss and CEO. And you have all these breakdowns. That's fine. Come to the call with those so you're not stuck with them. And she's out there now. She has 32 pieces for her collection. It's really amazing. I just really love like who she is. So yeah, just bringing that and holding that space for her too. Like she could come to me with anything and just break down, and we just go ahead and create something that's powerful for her.
I love that. I hear a lot of just, and this is what's true for me a lot of times, is recreating ourselves or reframing ourselves. And sometimes it's not always easy to do it ourselves. It's like we need that other person on the other side to hold us in that different vision, like you said, like a boss, right? And that can just provide such a space for people to step into. And as I'm thinking about that in our conversation, do you find that a lot of it is you're working with people to get rid of the stuff that's holding them back? Is it guiding them in the direction that they are not sure they want to see or find? What would you say a lot of the time spent in a lot of your sessions or with a lot of your people is around?
Yeah, well, we what we do is we create what it is that they want, and then you could hear the sabotage person showing up. I have my clients. I have them do a test where they go ahead and they see where their sabotages are and who that sabotage is, like a controller or somebody who's passive aggressive or somebody who doesn't listen, an avoider, a stickler, a high achiever. So those things get in your way. And once you could just like step back and see that for yourself, you could distinguish like when this person comes in. Like I named mine Brittany. And so when Brittany shows up, like it's like she's sabotaging me with all these disempowering conversations. So I teach my clients how to get into a sage perspective so that they could go ahead and create from that space. So it's always just listening for like what it is that they on a deeper level. So I've been trained and developed in that. As you know, listening is a skill that you can learn
Yeah.
and taking off these colored glasses. But when you start hearing them say like negative things, like, oh, I can't do this, I won't, I shouldn't, I couldn't, I tried, you could tell that like that's not serving them. So let's go ahead and create something that's powerful so they could step into that.
It's beautiful. I mean, I've myself am sometimes over fascinated on words and the voices that we have inside of our head, and those things can completely demoralize you or destroy you if you're listening to the wrong voices all the time. And sometimes just getting present to the things that you're saying to yourself are enough to make some lights go on. It sounds like inside you're listening. That's where sometimes people might discover, wow, I really say that to myself. Is that really how I'm looking at myself, and then recreating it? I think is a powerful tool. So where should we go from here? What are some? I mean, I know you mentioned at the beginning of this conversation before we even started on this that what I'm curious about is how you source yourself. Are there things that you do to keep yourself on the tip of like coaching expertise or inspired? Do you have a coach yourself? Like, what are some of the structural components that you yourself leverage to be as great as you are on a regular basis?
Oh my God, I can't do this alone. Let me just tell you. What I do for myself, I have a list of things that I do. I have a morning routine, definitely have a morning routine and an afternoon and a midday, I mean, a midday and an evening routine that I go through. I wake up in the morning, I have my cup of tea, and I go ahead and I journal and I meditate. And then after that, I go into Kundalini yoga, which is phenomenal. I do that about 6 times per week. And it's given me the space to learn how to breathe and just be with myself and my energy body and clearing out my chakras. I meditate. I love listening to meditations that really like help me. I read a ton of books. I've been to countless 8 years of seminars, professional and personal training and development. I'm actually in a wisdom course for a whole year. So I'm going to be learning that. I've done coaches trainings where it's positive intelligence. So I'm learning more about the neuroscience of our brain and like seeing what like stops us. It's really fascinating for me. Um, and I go to church and I pray, and that's been like the biggest source for me. And just like when my clients need something, I just go ahead and I pray before each call and I sage myself before each call, because there's a lot of energy when you're exchanging with somebody who's dealing with something, and trauma comes up. So I have books that I go to that really like allow myself to be able to coach them and provide them of a fulfilling like service for them, so that they could go ahead and take that and they could use it forever. It's a tool that's now theirs. They get all my clients get all my tools. I'm like, this is what's worked for me. It may not, try it on. See if it
Yeah,
works for you. So yeah, I have a box of tools, 8 years worth of.
it's like the toolbox, the tool belt, and all of that along with it. I mean, I'm listening to you and I'm thinking about all these things that you're doing to support yourself. And for me, sometimes when I'm going into different coaching sessions or whatever it is, there's a lot of stuff that I'm doing myself personally that often comes in those moments in conversations with people because it's so powerful for me. I almost feel like I bring it with me in that transformation that I'm going through. Do you find that sometimes your latest victories and things that are going on for you personally help bolster how you work with some of your clients? Because what's top of mind for me most times is usually that's the most empowering thing. So I want to bring as much of that as possible. Maybe it's just an empowering context. So I don't know. I'll lob that over to you. Take what you want from it.
Yeah, no, I have a coach, right? So my coach, I have disempowering conversations. I'm not a robot. I go through things too. I have ups, I have downs, more ups than downs because I worked on my downs, like when I'm like not feeling like empowered to go do something. So I'll call my coach and I'll get empowered because that's what he's there for. Or and I have my team. I have like my aid to serve and help people. So I go to them for support, and everything that I deal with them, they're with me throughout the battle. So yeah, my victories is, to talk off what you're talking off of, they're the most empowering because it's happened to me right now and it's my latest transformation. And then I have stories that I have of my old transformations that were victories, and now I just like upped my level and upped my game.
Yeah. And well, now you're referencing the old victors. I sometimes think about that too, because it's like you want to. We've always talked about powerful shares generating from, even if it's in the past. How do you create that newly as you're sharing it with somebody? Because I know sometimes I'm falling back on some past stories, and I don't know. It's challenging sometimes to bring that to life still, even though you've said it a few times. Any tricks around that? Anything that you do to just make it? It sounds like the support system is one thing, but just generating yourself in those moments, I think it's just getting present, and a lot of the practices you said probably create that for yourself.
Yeah, well, we're leaders. So like we're leading the way. We're putting risk in front of everything and it's uncomfortable and it's not a comfortable comfort zone. It's so we just keep putting ourselves out there and making as many messes as possible because you could fail fast and fail forward and just fail and get up sooner and faster and know that there's going to be a failure ahead of you. So that I'm always like, okay, it is what it is. Let's move past it. So it's always letting myself not get down when I should be getting down, like, oh my God, this client said no. Oh my God, that person really didn't get the transformation that they really wanted. Let me feel bad. No, you just got to clear yourself and get that out of your space and then share from a new space that you created. So I always keep and I'm always like, I don't know if I'm going to say the perfect thing in the whole world, but I know it's going to land for them. And I know the intention behind what I am speaking, it will land for them. So when I'm intended to do it, then things just start opening up for them too as well.
Absolutely. You mentioned earlier, I thought about it, but now it's coming full circle. The idea of the why, like why do we do what we do? Why do they want to do what they do? But I'd love to dig into that a little bit for you. What was it that drew you to coaching? What was it that drew you into wanting to make a difference for people? I have my own story, but I'd really love to hear just how that kind of crept into now being one of your, I'd say, primary focuses in probably what you're bringing to people.
Yeah. Well, I always tell myself that I've always been like a teacher or someone to lead somebody. I remember being a hostess at 16 years old, and I'm like, I want to train the new girl. I want to train the new guy. And then I became a bartender. I was like, I want to train the bartenders. And I became a debt collector. And I'm like, I want to tell people how to get to this next level because I was a top bartender. I was a top debt collector. And then I went into real estate and I was training people how to get listings and selling houses. And then I took a leadership course and I'm like, oh my God, I am a leader. Oh my God, I could do this. I could really, really do this. And it really lit me up because when we were coaching that leadership program, I got to see the difference I made for them off of a 5-minute conversation. And people still to this day are like, you don't even understand how great that conversation you and I had, and it turned into like this amazing like conversation, and I have my life because of that conversation. And I'm just like, huh? I don't remember what we talked about, but I'm glad it landed for you, and I'm glad it like did something for you. So, and I did a Tony Robbins UPW, and I'm sitting there in the stands, and I'm just like, I could do this. I could be Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God, I love it. Like, I really was like, I could see myself. I sat down with my team leader and I said, hey, listen, I really, my passion is to serve people and to just like let people win and have everybody win-win in conversations. So I'm going to go teach that and I'm going to go be a coach and I'm taking that on. And it was such an uncomfortable conversation because I don't like rejection. You know, when you do the work, you find out what you don't like or what stops you. So I had a fear of rejection, like, oh no, he's not going to want to work with me anymore. So he sat down, we had a bourbon and a cigar, and he's like, why don't you just, you know, as a real estate agent, you could just give me your leads and you could go ahead and still work in real estate. You don't have to give it up completely. And you could still do your passion of coaching. And I was like, oh, I can. Oh my God, I can. Oh wait, I can. And so that I just been doing 100% of my life has been like building my coaching practice, building my one-on-one clients and group coaching.
I love it. And it's just such a powerful place to be. And I mean, for myself, I remember discovering that I didn't even know what it was like to provide something for other people early on in my career. And then once I started getting a taste of it, it was just such a different thing than sitting behind a computer screen doing whatever I was doing to actually feeling like I really was impacting people's lives in a really profound way. And I mean, what you're saying is dear to my heart because I live in a similar type world around it. There's a lot of things going on. I just like to segue maybe to a little more current events type things. There's a lot of things going on in the world. I don't want to get into the details of what's going on, but people are facing some challenging times. How has that, have you seen that firsthand with some of your clients, or what are some of the things that you're maybe guiding people with in terms of how to stay up in what could be some challenging times? What are some of the things that you have on your mind that you kind of help people with? Anything around that?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was hard times. I had to like unplug for a little bit for myself because I'm like, okay, it's about to be a bumpy ride and I'm going to enjoy this ride because people are looking for, guidance and support. And there's a lot of like trauma and healing that needs to be done in this world because we're just acting out instead of really just being a possibility, living in that space. For one of my clients, my one-on-one clients, she, um, before we started, well, when we started working together, she didn't have a job. So she had the mindset of, I'm too old, I can't get a job, to finally getting a job working at Saks. And she was super excited. And this happened, and so she didn't have any work. They put her on furlough. So now I'm like, we're going to get you a job. She's like, nobody's hiring. So the coaching that I did with her was shifting her mindset in a way to where she's going to get a job. And actually today she got a job. She got a job that she is so super excited for. She's been like waiting to get a job, and she did all these interviews and she kept getting no's and no's and no's and no's, or not the pay that she wants. And I said, your worth, like don't take anything less than what you feel comfortable with. And she found this job that has a work-life balance, and it's a position that she's like, oh my God, this is something that I get to really be creative with, because she's a senior designer. And she's like so ecstatic. So just dealing with the mindset of my clients and also just reaching out. I've spoken to a lot of women and men too, and just coaching them and giving them support and guidance and letting them know that like, hey, this works for me, maybe this could work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was hard, to deal with a lot with myself too. I'm like, oh my God, like, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? How is this going to work for me? But I just put myself out of the way and just like was being of service to everybody that I have come across, and just being there for people and chit chatting and talking and coaching. And it's been busy.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of, as you said, there's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of challenge out there. And sometimes people in these moments are, because there's so many influences coming in, that our mentality, our energy, it can dip down if you're not conscious about what's coming in and how you're supporting yourself around it. So I applaud you for turning your particular client's situation around. A lot of it was around mindset. It sounds like just actually saying, no, you are this person and this is what's available. Go out there and look for it. Sometimes the power of intention brings it back to you as well.
Yes.
I'm just thinking about, there's people out there and we don't always necessarily know that coaching's available, what kind of coaching's available, or we might hear about it and we're like, what is that thing? Or it's not for me. Is there anything that you might share with people if they're tuning in right now, as far as the ability or what comes out of working with a coach, or if they're a little hesitant, why would somebody say, coaching, what benefits, maybe I'm kind of stumbling around here, but what benefits come from a coach in general and specifically maybe working with you?
Yeah. Well, I can't do this alone. I'm building a business. So I have coaches surrounded in my corner, because I can't do this. Like I said, I cannot do this alone. So my mindset is always like, oh my God, can I do this? Can I not do it? And so for my clients, they're having the same questions to themselves, like, well, I don't know if I need a coach. And you're always thinking, thinking, thinking. And what a coach does is hold you accountable. They create with you, they hold you accountable, they listen to you. People just want to be heard. And transformation is super, super, highlighted in all of my programs, because we're transforming those thoughts. We're getting down to the nitty gritty of those limiting beliefs. We work on things that you don't know, consider it a blind spot, because you don't even know that you're saying it. You're so like in the world of I don't know if I should, or you're in the thinking process instead of really doing the work. And as a coach, my coach holds me accountable to like what I say I'm going to do, and results show up. My business flourishes, sales come in, clients come in, transformation happens. So if you're out there thinking that like, what is a coach? Definitely interview coaches, interview them, let them know that, hey, listen, I'm looking to do X, Y, and Z. Can you support me on this? Because that's what a coach is hired to do, is to make sure that you do the work. Because the only way you're going to get your work to have results is when the client does the work. And same for me. I'm a client to my coach. And if I don't do the work, I'm not going to get the results. So, but I have someone listening to me bigger than who I am. I have someone holding me accountable. I have my A team where we support one another, and we just like all work together in synchronicity, and we all hold each other accountable. So if you're thinking about like, what is a coach, start researching coaches, see what your budget is and what investment you want to make into yourself, because it is an investment. Because if you say you want to have $10,000 months and you haven't done it by yourself so far, what's paying you in that way? And then that coach goes ahead and asks certain questions in order for you to discover what that is. And then from that space, then it's like, oh my God, magic happens, because you're not dealing with that junk, that BS that we hold on to, that like is stopping us in what it is that we really want. So hire a coach if you have big ideas and you want to go ahead and do something with your life, because mindset is everything. And when you could put your mind to anything, anything is possible.
I love it. I love it. I often think of the just a very simple analogy. As kids, we had how many teachers, we had how many coaches for athletics or for whatever activities we were in. It was we were constantly surrounded by coaches and parents. And then we get into the real world and we're on our trajectory. It's, do you ever get a coach for parenting? Do you ever get a coach for your business? Do you ever get a coach? I mean, I'd say if we did some, I actually don't know the statistics. I'd be interesting to learn more specifically. What is the percentage of people that are leveraging coaches versus not, and
Mm,
and that impacts significantly how well you can go in a certain direction. You ask an Olympic athlete, how many coaches do they have? How, are any of them there without a coach? Probably not. So
yeah.
if you really do want to elevate your game and the quality of your life, I think it's a huge resource.
Yeah, like with LeBron James, he has a coach that just teaches him how to free throw a ball. Then he has another coach that teaches him how to dribble. Now, these coaches, all coaches combined, don't even make, all the coaches that he has doesn't even make how much LeBron James makes. So that coach may not be like, he does the technical thing, but if you ask him to throw 100 free throw shots, I'm sure LeBron James will outdo him because he's getting trained. And the coach is coaching him and saying, no, 10 more, 20 more, 30 more. Because us as human beings, we just want to stop in that comfort zone. We don't want to make that extra phone call. We don't want to go ahead and write down our goals because we may think it's not possible. We may not want to go after what it is that we really want, because if we could do anything that we want, we would be doing it already. So coach is somebody that like pushes you, that holds you accountable, that's like, no, you got this, go for it. Like, let me know when it's done.
Yeah,
Text me, call me, send me a voicemail, let me know when it's complete. And that's when you start seeing the magic happen, because then you start building confidence. And then like the clients that are like, I can't make that phone call, or I can't call my mom, or I can't do this, then you won't see the results, and you'll just be fine right where you're at. So it's
yeah,
an investment, and it's a major tools that you get from your coaches, and use them up and use them all up and do the work, and then you get the results.
absolutely. I love it. And you just said, well, let me know when that's complete. And I'm really focused right now on accountability and how powerful that can be, even just on a daily basis, setting your schedule, having somebody walk through with that and actually figuring out what's working, what's not working all the way through. But it is that accountability that a coach gives you sometimes that helps push you beyond where you don't want to go yourself.
Yeah, because then you start measuring the results, like, what did I get done? How can I, what's my next step? And then you have somebody, like when I do structures with my clients, we structure out their business, and then they start taking leaps of bounds of steps to go and get there to the next level. And it's like, then we celebrate. I'm all like, we're having a celebration little text with my one client who got her job. I'm like, yes, we're going to go ahead and celebrate now. Cause now you just got to be in gratefulness that you did the work to get what you wanted.
Yeah, I think some of that is also ingraining that new feeling because you might not be used to success, and as you start getting it, to actually like cherish it and embrace it and make it more of a commonplace that we celebrate these things rather than it just being like something you push away. Because a lot of times we're very hard on ourselves and we continue to be hard on ourselves. We're not always celebrating ourselves and continuing to celebrate ourselves, and that can go a long way by shifting the balance of power.
Yeah, and that state of being that you get to be in, and then you could create so much and vibrate so much and have your energy aligned with your purpose, your mission, your why, and things just start coming to you, and you're just like, how did that happen? Oh my God. It's really badass and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me ask you a quick, as we'll start to wrap up the conversation a little bit, but for yourself, like I'm always thinking about, well, what differentiates people in people's minds. So if somebody wants to work with you versus somebody else, in a moment of self-awareness here, what would you say are some of the things that you really feel that you bring to the table in a way that maybe other people don't, or what's different in your approach? Anything that you want to just quickly highlight to leave people with?
Yes. Well, we get to have fun. Everything is fun. You get my energy. You get to be with me. You are never wrong, ever. There's nothing wrong. You're not bad. Like if you didn't say that you were going to do this, we just work on your integrity and we just go ahead and see what's in the way and create something different and powerful. And we do the work of meditation. We do energy work too, as well. Since I do all of this energy work for myself, I'm able to do it for other people and share with what that is and really deal with the trauma. So I go ahead and I have many books that I go ahead and get resources from. And I create my own programs and I get to have, the women be able to be with me and have group sessions too. And we're having fun. Like there's music on, one I'm watching, you get me, we get to go vibe out, and you may get a little bit more time than an hour or 2 hours with me. But yeah, it's always fun with me and you get to have this energy and I show up for you, and accountability is very important for me. So I always make sure that whatever it is that you're creating, it's a realistic goal for you to measure and it's attainable, and that you have the tools to go out and get that. And so, yeah, when you fail, we celebrate failures too, because it's like, yes, one step closer to a yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's so funny. I'm reflecting on our time together today and in the past. And if I were to really, you just recreated how I see you anyways. There's that fun, that energy, that passion. Like that's just who you are. And I could see that completely flourishing and blossoming inside of any interaction that you're having with a new person or an old person. I love it.
Yeah. You get me. That's what you get. You get me, and you get to see this energy, and you get to see all the tools that I use to have this energy and what works for me. And if it works for you, go for it. Take it. It's yours now.
It's beautiful. And so if people want to get in touch with you, or how do people find you? I know I can bring up the website. Is that worthwhile just to just share with
Sure.
people, and any other way people can get in touch with you, or what's the best way if they want to?
Yeah, they could go to this link, tamizakrie.com. And there'll be a pop-up button as well as contact me. And you can give me a call. We can schedule a discovery call where we work on one roadblock in your life and see what it is that we can do to get that roadblock out of your life. So that's a complimentary. And I'm on Instagram, which is coach_Tami. And then you could also get me on Facebook through this tag, or if you're on YouTube or wherever this is going to be placed out in the ether, in the web, you
Somewhere
could,
out there, but now it's out there forever.
it's
So
out there forever. Everybody has a piece of me now. I love it. And you. So yeah, Facebook, Instagram, my phone number is on all places. My phone number is in Facebook too as well. Facebook message me. I'll be able to send you my calendar and schedule a call.
awesome. And I know I saw the speaking on your website. I also know you've led some programs and helped facilitate some programs. We didn't touch on that. So what are some of those focal points that you have beyond just coaching one to one?
Yeah, what I did was I did leadership programs. I went to Puerto Rico and spoke to 150 college students um, about leadership and entrepreneurship. Great to be in Puerto Rico. And the person, Anthony, he put it together. It's called Disrupt. And so he disrupts like the narrative, he disrupts anything. It's a disruptor. So I'm a disruptor. And I went all the way out to Puerto Rico, and there was amazing speakers there. Oh my God, it was so amazing. But that was like the largest room I've ever spoken in front of. So of course I was shaking, I was nervous, but I really was just like being with the people in the crowd. And I was like, I'm born to do this. Like, this was amazing. Like, I didn't want to get off stage. Like, they didn't want me to get off stage either. They're like, no. I was like, more speakers got to come in. I also worked with the nonprofit for 4.5 months, where I facilitated to women that were sex trafficked, also abused, looking for work, doesn't have the money to do it. So we would have 30, 40 women in the room. And for 2 days, we would exercises and transformational work. And I would facilitate that. I did that about 4 different times. And I also had my women's working events where I threw, and I would have my guest speakers come and I would facilitate. And we would have like 20, 30, 40, 50 women in the room at times. And we would just have a party, like wine and cheese. I miss the networking events, man. I totally like
It's not like talking to a computer screen, that's for sure.
I miss the interaction, conversations, and the exercises that we do. Yeah, so I've done a lot of I spoke at a cover girl event one time where there was beautiful people in the room. And yeah, I love leading. I love being in, a transformation for somebody, because if I could just tell, if one person gets one little thing for me, it's all worth it. It's all worth it.
Yeah, it's such a rush too. Just to, I mean, one, to be in front of so many amazing people, and then two, to be making a difference for them in whatever way that you're making a difference for them. I love that feeling.
I know, it's so good. Like when I went to Puerto Rico, this little kid, he came to me, he spoke broken English, and he started crying, and he's like, my dad is sick and he's not working, and I don't have a job, and I'm living at home, and we're gonna lose our house, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, stick with this conversation. I'm gonna go on stage, and I want you to take as many notes as possible. And by the end of this course, I'm gonna be here for you. It was a 2-day event. I'm gonna be here for you, and I'm going to make sure that you find a way to get out of this. He goes ahead, he starts taking notes. I shared what I shared. I got off stage, and I saw him like during the break, and I was like, you working on it, right? And he's like, yes, I'm working on it. And then at the end, like, it's going to make me cry. At the end, he went ahead and he told me, he's like, Tami, I just want to tell you, I love you. I found a way out. I'm going to go work at my neighbor's house. He's a mechanic, and I love cars. And he's actually looking for somebody to help work with him. So now I could save my house so my mom doesn't have to work and can take care of my dad. That just like, I was like, oh my God, from crying about his life not working to, I'm not taking this anymore, and I'm going to do something. I'm here for a reason. Like, I'm getting goosebumps. Like, that kid, like, from who he was before to the break to the end was so magical for me that it was just like, but I just told him he has this, he's got this. And we had our little, conversation too, that was like intimate and personal. And it really like, that to me just like was like, made the whole trip, my whole trip. And it was beautiful. It was so beautiful, and many other stories, but that one just really like touched me.
That's so beautiful, and thank you for sharing that. It's those moments. It's those moments that just have you say that this is why I love doing what I'm doing. I
Yeah.
can see
Oh,
that.
if I could have those moments all the time, which, I'm creating for myself, is like, I want to be that difference for the people that are in front of me. I want people to walk out of the conversation bigger than what they thought themselves to be. I want them to win, and like let them know that they could do this. Like, what is it that you want? Get clear on that, number one. And we do a lot of work with my clients to really get clear on exactly what your message and mission is. And then after that, we start creating, and things like start coming to my clients and myself. Like, I do the work too. Whatever I'm teaching, I've done. I know what works.
Yeah.
And so just giving that to another person, and giving that to another person, they didn't have to do 8 years of transformational work. They got it in a conversation.
Exactly. Well, that's a beautiful place, I think, for us to segue towards wrapping things up. I mean, I think we've hit on a number of different things. Is there anything else that you wanted to chat about, or we haven't covered that we should touch on, or are we in a good spot here?
I think we're good. I think we hit mindset, passion, why, like just wrapping that up. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I want to say thank you, and really great to be with you, connect with you, and just get on this conversation out there, because I think it's important and it's a powerful one, and I could just sense the love, the passion, and all that you bring to it, and I'm so glad that we were able to connect on this level. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I'm really proud of you for putting this together because like coaches, it gives coaches a space to just like be with one another and also share like what it is that they do as coaches and be able to share this like, hey, listen, you're not alone. Like, let's do this together. And I mean, for me, coaches really like heal the world and be able to empower. Cause like I remember a coach in high school, I didn't want to run track, but he was just like, no, you got this, you got this, you got this. No matter where you place, you winning. And I'm like, okay, if you say so.
Yeah. And I mean, there's so many powerful, like I look at some of my memories of where I got to be where I am. And a lot of it was just a coach in some moment saying, try this or think about this. And it wasn't something that was on my radar. Then it was on my radar and completely changed the trajectory of who I am and where I'm going.
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
to change the trajectory for everybody and have whatever it is that they want to have it, to create it, to manifest it, to believe it. Yeah, so it's also working with that subconscious mind too and clearing that out because that has more power than 100 times more power than your conscious mind.
Yeah.
So,
And we barely touched on it. I could go on and on about that for hours. So maybe what that means is down the road, we need to have
part two.
another conversation, part two. Yeah. But Tami, thank you so much. We will be talking again, and really appreciate this opportunity.
All right, bye everyone. Thanks, David.
All right. Bye.
Bye.